When our oldest son, Dallas, was born, I remember being really excited, but at the same time, I was really nervous and really scared. And at the time, I believe I was only 23. I felt like a kid myself having, our first child. And I remember the opportunity came. There was a bunch of family in the room with Casey. I stepped out into the hallway and found the stairwell and just sat in there and cried my eyes out because I was nervous. Now we got to take this little thing home and raise it. We're all excited, but it was a big undertaking. And so you certainly expect the excitement, but I didn't know that the fear would be so overwhelming. Just a few weeks in, as we had brought him back home, I remember having a similar experience, except I was out mowing the yard, and I just stopped and broke down in tears because I was happy this time. It was literally tears of joy because I felt this pride of having a son, a child of my own. Always had dreamt of that, and so my tears of fear had turned into tears of joy. And sometimes what you expect can change. Jesus throughout the history of the Bible, we've looked at Jesus in Genesis, and now we're looking at Jesus in Exodus. Throughout the Old Testament, the people of God had expectations for their leader and for who would be in charge of the people of God. And oftentimes, instead of relying upon God, they relied upon, we want a king, or we want judges or prophets who would take us through and lead us. But this meant certain things had to happen and different expectations. It was not always what they expected. But when we get to Jesus, we see a new kind of king, a peculiar kind of king who, instead of enlisting, your children into the army like many of the kings do, right? What Samuel warned them about when they wanted a king, Jesus would enlist us into being carriers of the Holy Spirit, continue on His ministry, and then we become the hands and feet of Jesus in the world. So the expectations shift from somebody being in charge in an authoritarian way to now Jesus allows us to be part of serving in His community. And we get to do that in the church each week. And so we look forward to hearing more about this on Sunday morning. We hope to see you there.